2 and 3 are going. Oh, I have to read you. That's right. Shit. Hold on. I think I gotta restart Instagram altogether.
So we are live on LinkedIn, though. I can share that?
No, you're good now.
Okay.
Good.
Okay. I'll make sure before I share.
For everything, every Instagram separate. Everything else is together except for Instagram.
Okay.
I have to reach in settings apparently when I did. I only one time eating split chip stuff. Okay, now I'm ready for Instagram. We're actually ready. All right. Okay.
Ah, Jesus.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Dude, unmute yourself. Mute yourself, dude.
Yo. Oh, shit. You didn't even hear the audio come down there for a second. You got to unmute yourself.
Yo, what is going on?
It's
everybody?
okay. No, it's all good, man. I've had some major tech issues, bro. I didn't even want to do this really by the end of this.
What is up? Welcome to another Terp Talk Tuesday, first one of the year with my CannaCast. I'm Canna Dave.
And I'm Groovy.
We are starting a little bit later. I had a couple things had to do, and then we just had some internet issues, tech issues. So,
well, my house just brown cert or what do they call it? Brownout, like brown cert. Like I lost my power for a second, then it came back. Literally like a minute before we're about to go live. So, yeah, we're just bouncing back. Honestly, that was pretty exhausting. That was pretty crazy. So, what's up, Mop Man? How's it going, fam?
Yeah, how's it going, everybody? Hope you all had a good, happy New Year. We're going to be talking a little bit about like overall terpenes tonight, discussing some of the different terpenes, the entourage effect, and just a whole little background of what we've done on Terp Talk, and figure we'd kick it off the year talking terpenes. We haven't talked terpenes, just some terpenes in a little bit. So this will be a fun sesh. What you dabbing on tonight, Groovy? I know you dabbing.
Doing some lemon cherry gelato resin. You know what's funny? Ever since that surge out too, I can't pull up anyone's comments either. Like it literally won't even load the website anymore. It's crazy. Everything's gone to shit here. So Probably going to cut a little short, probably cut around 9. But we really wanted to like get in here and talk about Terp Talk and what Terp Talk means to us, and kind of just the whole thing behind it. That was like our goal of tonight. So what does it mean to you, man? Like, 'cause I'm sure it means something different to both of us.
So to me, I'm about to actually have some chilled medicated, some syrup. To me, it's an important part to cannabis, right? Like without the terps, there's no flavor. You're not going to be getting certain effects. And I think for me, flavor is huge when I'm smoking. I love to taste the product. I love to taste gas, lemon, skunky, citrus, sweet. I just like all the different tastes and starting to understand, oh, this is some limonene, or this is beta caryophyllene, or linalool. Right. And I think understanding the terpenes more gives me a better overall picture of cannabis as a whole, if that makes any sense. And then like the entourage, and the entourage effect is just everything then like together to me, because you were talking cannabinoids, you're talking terpenes, talking flavonoids, we're talking everything at that moment and how you're feeling. And I think it plays an important role other than just indica sativa, right? Like I love indica sativa. It's great for the breeders. It's great for genetics or whatever you're doing. But as a consumer, a lot of the effects that we're feeling are from the terpenes, in my opinion, right? So when you have the terpenes there, you can understand what you're supposed to be feeling. And I think that's I guess that's my overall opinion on it. I don't know what yours is, Groovy, but I think it's an important part.
Yeah. So like when I definitely feel a lot of what you're saying. There's a lot to the plant, and I think that's. Candidate went on a rant there a little bit, but the whole point of like Terp Talk to me was to talk about education beyond indica sativa, because it was almost like team indica, team sativa, team indica hybrid, right? And that was cool or whatever, people can talk about what they like or whatever, and like this is just a way to get it more dialed in, and whether it be the overall effect on what you're feeling with the entourage effect, like the interaction of the cannabinoids with THC, with terpenes, I think why we appreciate that Mob Man said he learned a lot from terps on this show, and the big thing, terpenes are associated with food, right, and smells and aroma, and just like when we say indica sativa, we're trying to categorize cannabis based on how it makes us feel. Terpenes is more on how it tastes, but there is a correlation between some of those that taste a certain way and feel a certain way, right? Where like where Canada Dave and I always say, citrus tends to give you more of a head high, where that skunky stuff can tend to give you more body buzz. Again, these are just, this is an 80-20 rule. There are still outliers. This is not exact. But that's the whole point of Terp Talk Tuesday to me, was to talk about more about the plant, talking about endocannabinoids and how they interact, with us, whether it be CBD, CBG, CBN, like Dave was saying, linalool, myrcene, beta caryophyllene, like all these different types of terpenes. We're able to kind of make our own decisions, if that our own what's important to me. Do I want something that's going to taste like a certain way right now, or do I want something that is high THC? Like I just want to feel the effects real instantly, like what are you looking for? Are you looking, and then what, and that's why I'm a big fan of the entourage effect. I know some people say, oh, it's just a feeling, that's not science. Well, I mean, I'm a big fan of pseudoscience, because sometimes we don't understand everything that's going on, and I think cannabis is one of those things.
I would agree. I think you hit it right on the head there, Groovy. I agree with you on it. And that's something, it's gonna be difficult for me and you to disagree on this topic a little bit, because I think understanding the terpenes, talking about the terpenes and seeing which flavors and stuff you like, it just helps you as a consumer understand, hey, that myrcene, I just don't like it when it's dominant. Anytime I've had that specific strain, it just hasn't been good. And I think in time we'll start seeing more, like, not questions, but more answers like that. And why do I say that? Because I think we're going to start seeing more information on these labels about terpenes. You're seeing it in the concentrates. You're starting to see it on the flower more so. And I think the consumers are demanding it. And when the consumers are demanding it, you're going to see that, because you got to educate the consumers. It's not just like we keep going back to indica sativa, team sativa. We've had a lemon skunk that's knocked me down instead of brought me up, or I've had a super lemon haze that's knocked me on my ass instead of like supposed to give me that uplifting feel, you know? So that's why I think that terpenes play a major role instead of the indica sativa.
On top of that, you know, the indica sativa thing maybe 30 years ago was a better way to talk about cannabis, you know, but just like Mop Man said in the comments right now, he said the hybridization of cannabis is less indica sativa. Like, you were finding more and more, or it is harder and harder to find these indicas and sativas, like the true, right? The true cuts of Acapulco Gold, the true cuts of, I mean, I'm sure it's still out there, and but you know how phenos work. It may not be the exact flavor, it may not be the best genetic. How to find them, it's hard. And like, now that there's so many crossbreeds, it's like that whole indica sativa thing is like, really, you're just looking at how you're watching the plant for how long it takes to flower. You know what I mean? That has nothing to do with anything now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like, you know, indica sativa, to like, when we started reading about and we did our research, we found out that each area, each region, like, you know, just like Afghani Kush, like there was indica sativa, right? Because it was just based off region and how long it took to grow. You know, now that we have names and strains and crossbreeds and genetics and breeders, we're getting farther and farther from that actually meaning anything, you know? So I absolutely agree, my man. I couldn't say it better. So, you know what I'm saying? Because there really is a truth to that, because now that it's everyone's hybridization, it's like, so, and that's why we want to talk, because there's better ways to talk about cannabis. And Terp Talk is just talking about anything Terp Talk. I mean, really, we watched, Dave showed me a video of this guy talking about like terpenes from All Gas No Brakes.
It's my dude. Dude.
Yeah, and since then we were like, oh, let's make something educational. Terp Talk was the joke, because we like talking about terpenes. And then really this started just talking terpenes. Like, really, in the beginning, we were just talking about like linalool for a whole episode, myrcene for a whole episode. And we like tried our best, and we brought examples and this. But as we did more and more episodes and more research, you start realizing that there's not enough research in these things yet to be like, you know, inflammation is, linalool helps inflammation. I can't really say that, you know. Lavender for years has been calming, so linalool I can say is a calming effect. You know, there's things like that, you know, and that's why I like terpenes. You can create that correlation between.
Sorry.
No, you're go, man.
I was gonna say, we've had strains that were high in linalool where we've seen the effect of the. It's great for sleeping or calmness.
No, yeah, exactly. That's observable science. But I'm saying I can't say it helps inflammation. Like, if I was going to be honest with everyone here, we read articles, and almost every single one was helping with anti-inflammatory, you know, this. They tended to overlap, and it's because they were just finding studies. So these terpenes, they're new, right? They're not as deep of a science as THC and cannabinoids, because there's been more research in that. You know, Terp Talk started because there's more to the plant. We need more research on all these things that we don't talk about. CBG, you know, aged cannabis and CBG, CBN in early plants, right?
Opposite.
Why not? Did I say that? Did I say it backwards?
Yeah, opposite. CBN's the aged, I believe, right?
I don't know. I don't think so, but it's up to you, Dub. I'm going to look it up real quick.
No, I know. With more and more as research comes out with the terps, we will see, like, as we're seeing, like the Cannabis Institute of Research in Illinois, or Chicago, Illinois, come online. You know, I think they're going to start looking at cannabis terpenes, looking at them, seeing what the effects are, and until we do get all that research done,
you're right. I did have it backwards. I had it backwards. CBN over time.
Yeah, CBN ages, and then the CBG is good for the gut.
Right, but again, like, you know, you see anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, appetite stimulation, insomnia relief. These are just weeds in general. Like, you can't really say this terpene. Like, I don't think we're at that point yet where I can say linalool cures this, you know, because we don't have such heavy concentrates of linalool, right? I guess that's what I was trying to say. Like, I can observe linalool strains calming me down, but I can't be like, smoke a linalool strain and be like, wow, my inflammation still feels better, you know.
No, and that's only going to be on personal use. That would be able to tell that, and you wouldn't be able to tell that to other people because it might have a different effect on somebody else. And that's the great thing about cannabis and the terpenes that affect you, because I think it's gonna affect everyone differently, and I think that's why the entourage effect plays a whole, because like your mood can change the way you're enjoying cannabis, or when you're with a group of people like your buddies and you're all just chilling smoking, that might make it a great time, you know. Like there's all these things that can play a factor into everything. I'm lighting up some pressure right now. Let us know what you're smoking and dab it on.
Cheers, T-Dub. I'll take a dab with you.
Hope y'all had a safe and good Happy New Year.
You do anything crazy? Do anything fun?
Nope.
Just chill.
Rolled up a donut. Got high. Drank some syrup. Medicated syrup. That's actually what I got right here, fam. So it's been a long day, to say the least.
Yeah, oh yeah. No, I mean, and then like the thing is with terpenes and entourage effect, I feel like it's just so new that it's hard for me to say that, you know, it's better science than anything. It's just from what I observed, from the weed I smoked. It's like you said, like we have observed it, and that's how it has more of effect in my life, because I've done this. I've tried the myrcene strains. I tried the beta caffeine. They calm. You know, they kind of dial it in yourself.
Yeah, and the cool thing about the terpenes though too is that when we found out, when we were looking at them, some of them are good for growing. Like some of them are pest resistant. If it's a high amount of that terpene, you won't have certain pests. I do think we will start seeing more strains that have some citrus or limonene in the future, and not just gas, because I know we're getting away from some of the, not just candy, but I think we're going to go towards some like fruits. We've had the apples and bananas. Maybe we might hit some citrus, like an orange or something here in the future.
I honestly think if they can figure out how to do it, they're going to do it, if that makes sense. Like if they can get a new terpene, like that's, it's just like runts, man. They were able to get weed to taste like candy. If you're able to get cannabis to taste like something that people already like, you know what I mean? Like I love garlic, right? I could literally put garlic on anything. So surprise, surprise that when a GMO comes out, I like it, right? You know what I'm saying? Well, no, that's why I say terpenes are like the key to good genetics, because if you can get a new genetic to taste like, I don't know, what's something unique that we haven't had that sounds good?
Jealousy.
No, dude, no. I mean, you're not missing my point. I'm trying to say, like, what's a flavor of like food that you like that would be cool in weed that we haven't seen yet?
Sushi.
That's more. Okay, so you're just saying food types. I mean, like a true blueberry, right? If you were to smoke cannabis and it tasted like a real blueberry, I know there's a lot of blueberry strains, but I've never had anything that tasted like blueberry.
That
like, really.
DJ Short's blueberry does.
I never had it. The versions I had weren't that good.
Legit.
Yeah, but it did. Okay. So, anyways, I'm just destroying my point here. If you can get into a new strain that has something that hasn't been tried, just like the cookies and the runts did, that's when you really make that new genetic. That's all I was trying to say. So that's why I think terpenes are really so key to genetics. Not THC percentages. I mean, people sell that shit all day, but now with infused pre-rolls, it's like, who cares about THC percentage? They'll just add key for some. Like, I don't know.
Well, you just, with the infused pre-rolls, you just gotta make sure as well. You just gotta be careful that it's not like some of the botanical terps, you know, and it's not. You're not actually smoking some of the cannabis terps. You're smoking some of the faker terps as well too. That's giving you that taste. Like that, I always think of that blueberry that we tried for the high times. But I'm blanking on the company, but Twax, the blueberry Twax. That was that absolutely tasted like blueberry, but that was done so bad because it was made
that's
with
not
artificial terps. It wasn't real cannabis
yeah,
terps.
but that's not what I mean. I mean, like, when you actually try a weed, you know it's weed, but it tastes naturally. Like, when I tried GMO the first time, it didn't taste like artificial garlic terpenes, you know? You can almost taste it. It tastes like a vape. It starts tasting like a vape pen or like a hookah. Because, I mean, that's how I originally got into smoking, was hookah and stuff. So it's like, that's when you're like, oh, this tastes so much like fake blueberry, you know? You know when it's
The
not
hookah
real.
days.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's just so overpowering. It doesn't have any taste of cannabis.
And just
Not
what
at
you
all.
said, man, right there. Just the fact that botanical terps versus cannabis-based terpenes, like a lot of people don't know that, and we're trying to get some good. We're trying to line up a great interview to talk about this. But there's so much stuff that goes on in your cannabis or in your vapes or in your dabs that you don't even know about because there's so many different methods. And I'm not saying, you know, they're doing something horrible, but everyone does their process a little differently, you know.
Yeah. And how they're
whether it be their grow or how they process, like it's all done a little differently, you know.
I will be looking forward to seeing if there's like a specific terpene. We were talking about it last month going into the year. Is there gonna be a specific terpene we think that we'll see more of this year? Anything in particular? You're talking taste. And I think if we're talking taste, it's probably like a combo of a couple, right? You know,
I think we're in a flavor time. I don't think we've actually hit a point where many people are talking about specific terpenes. I think people are going, that weed tastes like something in the food realm, right? And then they're able to go, oh, that's these few terpenes that are made up together, right? There are strains like your Bangarang that are clearly like you know, lemon 1000%, so that lemonine pops. Yeah. You know, there's the beta caryophyllene where they're so spicy or they're so gassy, right? You can kind of taste them when they're heavy, but I truly don't think that it's ever going to be like, I want this specific terpene. I still think people or the general public are going to specifically be looking for like a weed that tastes like something, whatever that be. You know, whether it's sweet or it's... Go ahead.
We got a great question in the chat by Michael. Is low temp dabbing one of the best ways to taste terps? I would say yes to that.
Absolutely. And, no. It's not even kind of, yes.
Certain terps, was it disintegrate or was it dissolve at a higher boiling temperature too?
It's most terpenes.
I'm butchering it.
You know, you're absolutely. Long story short, flavor terpenes are burnt after a certain point. So if you're burning, I don't remember the exact temperature, just like Canada.
Each one's different. Each one's different. That's the thing.
Right, but I'm sure there's like a general temperature that if you hit it at like 700, you ain't tasted shit. You know what I mean? Or something like that. Some people like a lot of smoke.
Might pop out a lung.
Again, that's where the entourage plays effect because it's like, yeah, you're high, but what's the high you're looking for? Because when someone says I'm high, I'm buzzed, are you looking for a flavorful, relaxed feeling? Are you looking for a rush? Are you looking for a long-lasting? Everyone says a good high, but what is a good high to you, Dave? Is it long? Is it strong? Everyone has a different feeling, so that's why like it varies, right? You know.
That's a really good question.
It's all about how you feel the effects. If you want to taste something though, low temp is the way to go.
All the way.
I don't go above 500.
Dab is low temp. Yeah.
I don't go above 500. 450 if the stuff is a little more malleable because then you can taste it pretty well. Like here, yes. I can actually pull up the can of cam real quick. I'm doing this stuff, so I'm doing this at 500 because it's a little more solid. It's more like a sugary texture, if that makes sense. So yeah, I think
this is the lemon cherry gelato.
Yeah. Chill.
Nice.
Yeah, no, it's key, man. I grabbed a Puffco Peak Pro, so I'm learning about concentrates and whatnot. Yeah, again, that's what I rock. I don't have the Pro, so, I mean, you'll be able to dial in more about temperatures because you can sync it with your phone and then figure out what temp is, like, exactly dialed in. Say maybe it's 512 for sugars. And that's one thing I will say. If you're just getting into dabbing, different consistencies will burn a little differently, right? So, like, if you're going to have, like, a THCA diamond and it's hard as a rock, there's probably not gonna be a lot of flavor to begin with, and it's a rock. So I would burn it maybe 550, right? I'll do 550 sometimes. But if it's like a really malleable like rosin, you could do 450, 500, or do 450 with the reheat. You know, play with these like combinations because like I really think there's a consistency versus temperature is just a relative thing. Hot dabs. I like
with the Puffco dabs. Tips. That's what I was trying to say. The Tips by Groovy. I love it.
T-Dub said low temp dabs for flavor, hot dabs for intensity. That's a great way to say it simply. I'm gonna get it tattooed right here.
No regrets? No, I'm just kidding.
No regrets. Spell it wrong. Spell concentrates wrong.
Oh man, that would suck.
Derbs. I love Derbs. DRBS. I love Derbs.
But let's all get a dab ready. But before we'll come back and dab. But let's give a shout out to DNK and their Florida Kush. It's one of their newer strains that are out, and you can catch this for $25 an eighth at any of the retail shops where you can find DNK growers. They're in Kalamazoo and Holistic. They are out in Burnt Cannabis Co., Great Lakes Holistic, I believe Kalamazoo, and at Ypsilanti is Wellflower. So my apologies. But here's Nick.
Hold on.
Gonna be talking.
When the power surge went out, I had to restart. So you're gonna have to give me a minute.
No, you're good. And then while he's doing that, I'm gonna come back and take an analog dab with y'all. So I'll heat my nail up while we are seeing the Florida Kush. And if you haven't tried the Florida Kush, I definitely recommend it. It's not like the sour animal. If you're looking for like a sour diesel taste, it's more of that like cushy taste. Old school kind of reminds me of. So they have that, and then they have a couple other genetics that will be coming out this year. So it's DNK Growers. Check them out on IG. Give them a follow and learn about the Florida Kush from Nick. One of the owners.
It's a new strain that we have coming out here at the end of the summer. We're really excited about it. It's a classic Kush. Grows really straight up, really nice, flagrant nugs. We're really excited about this one. Has a little bit of hints of citrus, along with, your classic Kush earth tones. And it finishes really smooth. We're really excited about it. We have had it tested already. The first batch came out at about 27, 28%. So we know it kind of checks the mark for THC, but obviously we know it's not the most important. Terps came back at about 1.8%. So we're pretty happy so far about it. Smoke's great. Like I said, really smooth, gives a great resin ring around the smoke. And it smells really kind of funky with a little bit of a kind of a gassy citrus to it, but a little bit light notes when it comes to the back end flavors. We're going to have it at some of our partners like Burton Cannabis and Great Lakes Holistics.
Yo, sorry, I cut that video a little bit hard on that one. Yeah, I don't know. Sorry, I had like a brownout earlier. Just so everyone that just caught that, like I usually have shit pulled up, but I had to like reset things. Like Dave had to rejoin. My light stopped working. We had a hell of a time. And then Dave was delayed with his haircut, looking all pretty. Look at him. And then, so that shit was wild. And then we're about to finally go, and then all of a sudden, boom. You don't need to twist my arm to make me do another Dave. Oh my God, what did I just say? You don't need to twist my arm, Dave, to make me do another dab. Ugh.
All right. Well, I'm about to do an analog dab here.
An analog dab.
Yeah. I tell you, man, every time I'm home, that's all I'm usually doing there.
No. I do them sometimes. Like, I don't get me wrong. It's not like I don't. Okay, let's ask everyone why we're out there. Like, do you prefer digital or analog dabs? I mean, I'll be honest, dude. I think the reason why I prefer digital dabs is just the conveniency, the speed. I know I'm not going to burn my lungs. If I, like T-Dub said on YouTube, if I'm looking for an intense dab, though, yeah. I'm gonna bust out the analog dab because, that's how we started, right? Oh yeah, dab time. I like taking dabs with the community out here. Out here.
Community dab
digital.
time.
We got digital on IG. What's up, Shady Lady? G from MI. What's going on, fam? Yeah, see, I'm with you because I like my digital dabs. It's almost like it's hard to go back. I mean, if I'm looking for a high intensity dab or like really what I mean by that is I'm taking a fat dab. I don't take big dabs.
I know.
usually regularly. I will sometimes if I'm feeling frisky or it's like, hey, it's a bunch of friends and we split a gram and we're just having fun, hanging out. Like, sure. But, like, not really. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I take my little dabs for flavor and I just keep moving. Because if I take a too big of a dab, your boys just sit on the couch and, like, you know? So,
no,
but would you say
I
digital or analog over digital?
Me?
Yeah, mister, okay, that's all I do when I'm home.
Okay. All right. That's a little
what you
exaggerated.
said. I'm just quoting you.
It's a little exaggerated. My bad. It's a little exaggerated. But yeah, honestly, I haven't opened the Puffco since I've been over your house on Saturday. So yeah, it's been a couple of days, but I haven't dabbed as much. I'm pretty much out, to be honest. But I love the digital and how like easy it is and like on the go and not heating up the torch and all your reasoning. I love it. But sometimes just going to an analog dab, it reminds me of first dabbing. And I used to have some sweet glass, so I was having like a quartz nail with a carb cap. Not bad. But I think I would prefer a digital just because I feel like it's less harsh on the lungs. So,
all right.
Yeah.
Looks like we got G-Dubs doing Moonbow, Cross Watermelon, Ziddles. I got dabs, but I ain't got no candy for you, shady lady. Okay, nice. No candy flavored dabs. Mike's with the digital seems to be more convenient. I definitely think 100%. So. So, and hear me out. You know what the most sketch thing was traveling with dabs too, because like you can't hide it. Like back in the day when it was, or just analog dabs, or even with the nectar collector, I would try to hide it, but you're still.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, how do you hide it? You can't hide it. Dude, I remember like I was on a camping trip with a family. I was like, I'm gonna go take a dab in the tent. First off, I'm gonna ruin my tent. Second off, you ain't hiding shit, you know. So I don't know. I'm just in love with the fact that I can just be like tap tap, and your boy's taking a dab. Like, you know, and don't get me wrong, Dr. Dabber's cool. Seahorses are cool. I almost bought one the other day.
Oh no shit.
Yeah, because I want one. Like, just the convenience of just being able to pull it out, tap, 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 gone. It's even more convenient than this because I got to fill out water. This is more of a carry. I could literally just put that in my dab container in my pocket. You know? It's a whole new world.
Wow, that'd be intense. Dabs everywhere.
Going analog with a nectar collector. Yeah.
Nectar collectors are fun. It's like a steamroller, but for dabs.
Dude, I love my nectar collector. That ceramic nectar collector, I still wish I could. Yeah, I mean, until I got this, that's probably another reason why I like this, man. I love this ceramic.
That's true.
I mean, quartz is nice, right, man? But every time I buy a banger, I don't know if I just buy the cheapest crap and I'm just get the worst luck. But my bangers always get that crusty crap on it.
Charred, yeah, it's always.
Right, and then I need to buy one every couple months, you know, and then now here I'm spending, you know, $20, $30, $40 a month on bangers, depending on what kind of banger you buy. You might as well just buy a Puffco over the year. It's like $20, $30 for 3 bowls. And then I think it's like $40 for, you know, I'm just saying, I like the digital age, you know.
Mm-hmm. The digital age is nice, man. It's a bit of a game changer for the concentrate field. I'll tell you that. It's been a game changer. Because a lot of people wouldn't dab because of the torch of what you said, the noise, and then just getting a whole. You remember back in the day they'd have like those giant cans, just to heat up the small little nail real quick, and you're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, man.
You would take that dab so hot, you'd be in the corner like hacking up a lung. It was jeez.
It was just like pure butane, purged by the sun.
Oh God.
I'm curious how that proxy hits, because like they're saying it's great and they won't let you do high temp dabs, which I like. It's made for that person who wants just the flavor. You know, you're getting 400, 450, you know, really low, but like just without water, I don't know. I'm curious. I mean, how are you going to do it without water? You need like a gallon.
Oh my God, get the heck out of here, dude. I don't have that much in there. It just happens to sometimes be a little bit too much water in the Puffco. It's not like
regular thing.
But dude, if you're doing what is it called, the seahorse, it's pretty much probably just like a nectar collector. Think about that. I mean, there's no water in a nectar collector.
No, that's true. That's true. And you're right. The proxy's pretty much a digital nectar collector. Oh wow, yeah, mind blown. Good call. Shit, I guess that is. I mean, that's the next key. Is let me get a nectar collector that I can get 400 at the right temperature. You know what I mean? Like.
It's got a little battery attachment on the side.
Do the seahorses have temperatures on them, or are they just like medium, high, low? I don't know. I've only tried them. I've never actually like bought one. But those seahorses, like, I'm very curious because if the seahorse like gave you a temperature gauge, that would be a game changer. In my opinion.
To be honest, haven't tried one or actually taken a look at it.
I'm really happy my power has been steady. Yeah. Nervous that my power is just gonna go out like it did. But,
hey, I'm loving the good vibes. Let's put those vibes away.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah. And again, tonight we were just we did go on this tangent a bit, talk about Puffco's, and again, that's why we started about talking about Terp Talk. Though it's just to educate anyone that has a question. You know what I mean?
Hey, and a lot of the terps. You see on some packaging now, you see that on concentrates, you see that in your dab container. So it kind of gives you a hint of what you're going to taste, you know, and it's pointing you in that direction. So then you as the consumer, you know, you'll be able to find out. Like Groovy loves myrcene, beta-caryophyllene, and limonene, right? Like I'm pretty sure those are your three. Like if you have any of those, you're like that concentrate nine times out of 10 is probably like good to you, right? So you're able to know and see what you like from it. And I think it just plays a better role than just the indica sativa. I hate to say it, but I mean, that's just the two things that the industry's broken up on. I mean, if you're a grower and you're talking indica sativa, then I understand that because you're talking sativa, which is good around the equator, indica, which is good more in the northern hemisphere where it's colder, stockier plants, shorter weeks. Like that's where it tends from.
Do you know those like flow charts? Where they start with like, you know, the highest thing or like the, you know, it would be like, hey, the CEO, and then it breaks down like a flow chart, like goes down. Yeah. I think about it kind of like that. Indica, sativa, like cannabis, it was like cannabis is all the way at the top, right? Then you break it into the three families, indica, rudialis, indica, sativa, right? You break it down. I think we're just dialing it more in, you know, and that's really the big thing is, you know, because people for a while have been like, oh, that's skunky stuff. Oh, that gassy stuff. Oh, that's sweet, right? And that was dialed in a little bit more. Now we're like, why does it taste like that? Because of the terpenes, right? And then, you know, what's next? I think what's next is just really understanding all the parts of the plant and then trying to maybe find some scientific evidence that backs the entourage effect rather than observational science, which, you know, I'm a big fan of observation science, but not everyone just takes that to the bank. So I think it's just, I truly think, you know, you learn a lot from experience. We learn a lot from just discussing, you know, because some people come in here and correct us on occasions, you know. I love like that type of learning, and that's what this is. Terp Talk is interactive learning. So,
dude, it's fun. It's fun. I mean, terpenes we've just been starting talking about in the last couple of years, and they've just been getting more recognition within the industry in the last couple of years, you know, and I think it's going to continue to go that way. And hopefully, like, you know, high THC percentage and some other things go down a little bit. Because like you can get like a 22, 23%, 20%, 19%. That's probably hits and is super flavorful, right? Compared to some like 36% that probably tastes like hay. That's not even like 36%. And I think that's the good thing about understanding different flavors, different terpenes, different effects and other things with it. It's nice to see that taking over a little bit more in the industry, you know?
Yeah, 100%. Well, and I think my first time was like when we went out to Vegas last year, and it was on everything. Like it was forced. It was like mandatory. We're like, damn. You know, none of your weed all your weed's dry, but at least you got your labeling right. You know what I mean? So that was cool.
well, and then like the terpene sheet was like long as hell too, because it had like, remember, like each one had like a sticker on it, and it was long. But they make sure that that's there. I do think that's cool to see because it's just education, and if you want to learn and understand more about it, they're giving it to you. and that's no harm. Who doesn't want to learn more? And if you don't need to. But if there's someone that does, that's cool. I wish they had that in Michigan. Just put a QR code, slap QR code, T8 terpene results. Like, that'd be sweet. That's what separates brands from different brands in the industry, though. So how much do you care goes into your product?
Is Rudy Alice what is in autos? Yeah, Rudy Alice is autos. Rudos. Yeah, and that's the thing. That makes sense, because at first it was probably like, okay, it's weed. It's cannabis. Cool. And then they're like, how do we divide this more? This one takes longer to grow. This one takes shorter to grow. Okay, cool. Indica sativa. Sweet. Now, shit, I have 2 strains that take this long. Why don't we call it a name? Afghan, right? And then it just, okay, that, and then we have names, right? And then name and culture, like, that started. And then we went down to, and that's how we went so far. It's so crazy to think how far we've gone, like in cannabis. Like, literally, it feels like just a short time ago, because it was just, 10, 15, 20 years ago, we just only really called it indica sativa.
Dude, I was just talking to my hairstylist, and we were talking about that literally today, because I was telling her about the rate. And I was like, imagine it's 15, so not even that long ago, getting rated, and going through, getting hit with 7 charges, like, just for working as a bud tender. And you go back 10 years from that, right? You're looking at no states besides, like, California is medical, really, in 2005. I don't even know. Maybe you had Oregon and Washington, because the West Coast has always been ahead. But like, it's really gone so far in a short, not even 20 years. Like, it's gone. Yeah. It's gone leaps and bounds. So I'm curious, especially now. Yeah, I'm curious where more of this terpene research, cannabinoids research, flavonoids, and everything else comes together, and we start seeing, like, these 3 terpenes and these cannabinoids is really great for irritable bowel syndrome. Like, you have high CBG, a little CBN, and these specific high terpenes, boom. And CBG's got to be like 8%, right? Some absurd number that we're not seeing, because obviously a lot of the stuff we see is like 0.02%, right? In flour and stuff. So it'd just be cool to see some of that stuff.
Oh, hey,
my buddy.
Yeah, I was wondering if he was going to come upstairs at all today.
He's like, where's
Uncle Canada Dave ain't coming by. He's like, what's going on, man? He knows when Dave gets here, he literally will just come upstairs. He knows the routine.
It's true.
It's my dog. Yeah, I'm taking another dab. Oh, you going to do an analog dab with us?
Yeah. You got to give me a minute, though.
Who like that? I just closed the door with my foot. No one? Okay. Just close that like karate style. Like, well, what? I was actually really surprised. I didn't. I realized my headphones were about to catch, so I just stopped. I was like, what? I want to watch that on replay. Damn. You're muted. Yeah, I can't hear you. No one can hear you. We're just...
That's good. Because it's heating up. I thought you actually put me on full screen, and I was the only one that saw that.
Oh, nice. Like, no, actually, everyone saw that. That was, I have small skills, and apparently shutting doors with my feet is one of them. Can't all be astronauts. All right, y'all. I'm gonna heat this up, and I'm gonna do an intense dab. I'm gonna do a 550. I don't think I've only done it once, I think, on air. Like, done the 600 or whatever the white is, 700. Groovy with the roundhouse. Yeah, exactly. Hell yeah. Yeah. Again, I don't know. I'm a sucker for rosin though lately. But it's too pricey. Like, I want it. I mean, it's not too pricey. It's just like always buying nothing but rosin when you can get, live resin deals now. Dude, it's crazy. I get the shit that used to cost $50, $60 a gram, you can get for $80 an eighth. Like, what? Wow.
Whose stuff are you dabbing?
This Element. is that live resin I had. But it was such a good deal. I couldn't, especially with New Year's.
Goddamn out. Bringing in the new year.
Yep. Yeah, so we appreciate everyone being here with us. I'm glad there were so many of y'all with us because we're an hour late today.
Hour late, and then we had the.
We'll do that. My house browns. Yeah, do that. Whatever. We're here. We almost gave up too. Because I couldn't get my internet to come back, and then it did it again, and I was like, dude. But we did it.
It just wasn't.
We fight that. We fight that. Fight against the odds, baby.
We made it.
And if you're not subscribed on YouTube, we really appreciate it if you could be. Is there really? This is actually, I'll let you take this first because I have my own opinions on this, but I'm going to let you go first on this one. So, Canada Dave, as you're taking that dab, I'll read this to you. Michael asks, is there really a big difference between resin and rosin?
We're talking live resin, I'm assuming, right? Probably the concentrate.
Yeah.
So, it's the difference between resin and rosin would be the process and how the flower is extracted into the consistency. So if it's rosin, it's usually the bud will go through like the bud will be flash frozen, and then you'll wash it, and then you'll take the product that's been washed and you'll press it through heat in a press.
And the big difference is solvents are added to live resin versus rosin. There's solventless.
Like butane extraction in other ways.
Yeah, CO2. Yeah, there's other. And you have things added that are then having to be taken away at the end of the process, rather than where rosin is the process in which is more. I would say it's more natural because you're not having to add anything to take it away later. You're essentially only washing cannabis with ice and I don't know, your hand, spinning, which I guess would be like friction.
Wash machine.
Friction. Yeah, but I'm trying to think of the
because you're just agitating the
it's
trichome.
friction.
You're trying to knock the trichomes off of the bud, and the trichomes will fall, and then you get
pressure. So it's a natural process. So there really is a big difference. I didn't want to say now in the sense of which one's healthier, which one's better for you. That is actually one of the most arguable things I think right now. And we're actually hoping to get a media company on or a CRC type of place on. So we'll see how it goes. But I do personally think if you're going for flavor, I have good luck with rosins. I think is more true to the bud. But I've had some good live resins out there. It's. I just think overall, I do appreciate that there's nothing added, nothing needs to take away. And something about hash that's been pressed. So if it's hash rosin, that is very different because that's instead of just being processed once into like live resin, it's being processed into hash, and then it's being pressed into live hash rosin. So it's technically a whole second process deep, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so it would be, you would wash it, which then you'd get the hash, and then you'd press the hash, which becomes hash rosin.
Yeah, 100%. Well, that's what I'm saying. There, the difference again, live resin and rosin. That's a difference because rosin is, if it's hash rosin, it's technically gone too deep. If it's only rosin, then it's the one deep of processed, one layer of processing, if that makes sense. I would say rosin can be classified as organic. Oh, that's a good way to put it, my man. I like that. Okay, cool. All right, cool. Wish on Instagram says T-Dub tells me how much time he catches us and he loves you guys. Yeah, I appreciate you. Thanks for tuning in, homie.
Nice,
subscribe on YouTube or Instagram. We appreciate all that shit.
Yeah,
all that sharing, liking shit, it's crazy. Especially with the name Cannon in our name. It's a nightmare trying to get things shared. Facebook will sometimes love us and sometimes hate us. It's really up to y'all. If y'all share it, we get okay. If we do anything, it's a fail. So, it's just having that name, man. Sucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been a fun session though with everything today. I
yeah.
appreciate everyone session with us tonight. We will be going live Saturday, same time as usual, 9 a.m. Eastern time. So definitely come in, tune in, wake up, and bake up with us. We always have a good Saturday session. There won't be an episode out tomorrow at 4:20. We'll just be sharing the story when it is posted. So stay tuned. We'll be posting some new reviews, and there's some MJ BizCon content that's being posted on the socials. And then also on the website, we'll be having new blogs up as well. So always make sure you're checking out mycannacast.com and sign up for that email list too as well. You'll get some discounts and stuff. So stay tuned. Got anything else for Groovy?
No. I mean, please check my music out. Groovy everywhere. Guy with the sax. Groovy music everywhere. Socials. Please check it out. MyCannacast everywhere. MyCannacast.com. If you could subscribe, MyCannacast YouTube, we really appreciate that. It's not like a broken record, but it's because we never know if anyone's new here, so we always try to welcome them because this is a community that we try to be inclusive. We are from the back in the day. We like the where it's going. Like, we're trying to like build bridges, not walls. So
yes.
in this if that makes sense. So
hell yeah, does.
We appreciate y'all.
Yes. I hope y'all have a great rest of the week. Hope your 2023 is kicking off. Fun for you, everybody. And I got nothing else. You can check me out, Canna Dave, anywhere, all socials. Send it a follow. And other than that, we're always here to advocate,
educate,
and inspire. Till next time, y'all. Peace. Smoke good.